Well, I think we're in the middle of a transition in our story about how the economy works and what governments ought to do. I think for a period of about 30 years, we had what some people call neoliberalism, some people call market fundamentalism, but the idea that markets would create lots of prosperity and governments simply had to provide some simple rules and that was it. And I think that didn't work very well for a lot of countries and for the world economy as a whole. So I think right now there's a lot of reconsideration that's going on about what should be the role of the government in the economy. How can we create inclusive, more prosperous societies, not just to the benefit of, skilled professionals and multinational corporations and big banks, but for ordinary people. And so I think, coming up with new ideas and coming up with a new story for our new age, I think is going to be very important. And this is an exciting time because we're in this kind of a transition where nothing really has emerged yet to capture our imagination. So it's an interesting time for debate. I think, people who prioritize national security and geopolitical competition tend to have a zero-sum view of the world. So if it's good for me, whatever is good for you is bad for me, and whatever is good for me is going to be bad for you. And whereas economic exchange, trade, investment is supposed to be, it's good for you and for me. So those are very different, two very different conceptions of how the world works or how it should work. So if you approach, let's say, relations with China and saying that, we don't want them to be economically prosperous. We don't want them to develop a high-tech economy because then they become more powerful and then that reduces our power. That's not the kind of a world in which you would want to have a lot of economic interdependence with China. And I think that kind of a world would make a lot of us, I think, poorer because then it becomes all about politics and strategic competition and geopolitics and not about the gains from international trade and investment.